midpoint theorem. Now, triangle ABC, in triangle ABC, D and E are the midpoints on the side AB and AC respectively. So D and E are the midpoints. That means these points divide the respective sides into two equal parts. When we join these two midpoints, the theorem states that for any triangle, when we join these two midpoints, this line segment will be parallel to the third side. That is the midpoint theorem. The statement of the theorem is the line segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side. So from the figure, D is the line segment joining the midpoint of the triangle ABC, and DE is parallel to BC. That is what we get from midpoint theorem. Conversely, that is, if we state the theorem in reverse order, then we can say that the line drawn through the midpoint of one side of the triangle is parallel to another side. So this is the midpoint. We are drawing a line through this midpoint which is parallel to the second side. It will cut the third side at its midpoint only. That is the converse statement of the theorem. The line drawn through the midpoint of one side of a triangle parallel to another side bisects the third side. Means it intersects the third side at its midpoint itself. That is the converse statement of the theorem. Now moving on to exercise 7.2. There are two solved examples between the theorem and the exercise, which I am sure that you guys can solve on your own. So I'll directly skip ahead to exercise 7.2. In exercise 7.2, first question. In the first question, ABCD is a quadrilateral in which P, Q, R and S are the midpoints of the sides AB, BC, CD and DA respectively. AC is a diagonal. Show that, the first sub question asks us to show that SR is parallel to AC and SR is equal to half of AC. So here we have in triangle DAC. In triangle DAC, we know that S and R are the midpoints. S and R are the midpoints. Because it was given in the question, it is given. S and R are the midpoints of sides DA and CD. So this implies SR is parallel to AC. When the line segment joins two midpoints of two sides in a triangle, then that line segment is parallel to the third side. So SR is parallel to AC from midpoint theorem. That is our reason. Now we need to prove that SR is equal to half of AC. Also, one more point, according to midpoint theorem, this line segment is not just parallel to the third side, but also it is half of the third side. That implies SR is equal to half of AC, according to the same midpoint theorem once again. So midpoint theorem says that the line segment joining the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is not just parallel to the third side, but it is also half of that third side. So this is the solution to first sub question. Moving on to the second sub question, they have asked us to prove PQ is equal to SR. So in triangle, look here, we have to prove PQ is equal to SR. So we know that in triangle ABC, P and Q are midpoints. P and Q are the midpoints. It was given. They are midpoints. So according to midpoint theorem, we have PQ is parallel to AC and PQ is half of AC by midpoint theorem. So this implies since SR is also half of AC and PQ is also half of AC, we can say PQ is equal to SR from result 1 or question 1. We got it from result 1. So that is the solution to the second sub question. And lastly we have third one. We need to prove that PQRS is a parallelogram. To prove that PQRS is a parallelogram, we have that minimum condition theorem 8 from this chapter, which says that for any quadrilateral to be a parallelogram, at least one pair of opposite sides must be equal and parallel to one another. So we know that PQ is parallel to AC and SR is parallel to AC. So this implies we got this from results 1 and 2. So this implies PQ is parallel to SR. Also PQ is equal to SR from result 2. Therefore PQRS is a parallelogram from theorem 8. One pair of opposite sides are not just equal, they are parallel to one another. So that is the complete solution for question 1 from exercise 7.2. In the second question, ABCD is a rhombus. That means ABCD has all sides equal and PQRS are the midpoints of sides AB, BC, CD, DA respectively. Show that the quadrilateral PQRS is a rectangle. To do that, first join AC and BD so that we get the diagonals of the rhombus. Now from midpoint theorem we get SR is equal to half of AC and SR parallel to AC. Similarly, PQ is equal to half of AC and PQ is parallel to AC. So this implies PQ. We got this from midpoint theorem. Once again, these are the midpoints. So in triangle this and triangle that, we got that whole package here. So PQ is equal to SR and PQ is parallel to SR. So this implies PQRS is a parallelogram. First we proved that PQRS is a parallelogram. Now we need to prove that one of the angles of this quadrilateral PQRS is equal to 90 degrees. To prove that one of the angles of this rectangle of this parallelogram is 90 degrees, name this point of intersection of diagonals as O and name this point as M. This as N. Now in quadrilateral OMNQ, MQ is parallel to ON. MQ is parallel to ON because R and Q are also the midpoints and RQ is parallel to DB. Therefore, since they are parallel to each other, because RQ is parallel to DB. The MQ and ON are parts of the same line, so these segments are also parallel to each other. So MQ is parallel to ON. Similarly, OM is also parallel to NQ. OM is parallel to NQ. So therefore, OM NQ is a parallelogram. Both pair of opposite sides are parallel to each other. So it is a parallelogram. So this implies angle MON, this angle MON is equal to angle MQN. This angle MQN, because opposite angles of parallelogram. They are opposite angles of parallelogram. So this implies, we know that angle MON is equal to 90 degrees. Because ABCD is a rhombus and AC and BD are its diagonals. Angle MON is formed by the diagonals, and diagonals of a rhombus always are perpendicular bisectors of each other. So since angle MON is equal to 90 degrees, this implies angle MQN is also equal to 90 degrees. Therefore, one of the angles, angle Q, is one of the angles of the parallelogram PQRS. Therefore, PQRS is a rectangle. This is the solution to the second question. Now moving ahead to the third question. ABCD is a rectangle and PQR and S are the midpoints of the sides AB, BC, CD and DA respectively. Show that the quadrilateral PQRS is a rhombus. So here we have our rectangle ABCD where P, Q, R and S are the midpoints on the respective sides of the rectangle. We need to prove that PQRS forms thus is a rhombus. To prove that, we need to prove that the sides are parallel and also all the sides are equal to one another. To do that, first in triangle ADC, we have SR parallel to AC and SR is equal to half of AC. Similarly, in triangle ABC, we have PQ parallel to AC and PQ is equal to half of AC. This whole thing is because of midpoint theorem. So since we got this implies we get PQ is parallel to SR and PQ or SR is equal to PQ. This implies PQRS is a parallelogram. Now consider triangle ABD. This is result 1. In triangle ABD, PS is parallel to BD and PS is equal to half of BD. But there is a catch here. We know that ABCD is a rectangle and in our first exercise we proved that the diagonals of a rectangle are always equal to each other. So this means AC is equal to BD because diagonals of rectangle. Since we know that the diagonals are equal, then half of AC is equal to half of BD. Therefore, PS is also equal to half of AC. You know that PS is equal to half of AC, and also SR is equal to half of AC, and SR is equal to half of AC. Therefore, PS is equal to SR. So this implies PQ is equal to SR is equal to PS is equal to RQ. This implies PQRS is a rhombus. All the sides are equal to one another. PS is equal to SR. This implies, we know that from midpoint theorem we would get that since PS is equal to half BD, RQ is equal to half BD, therefore PS is equal to RQ. So from there we get all the sides are equal to one another. Therefore PQRS is a rhombus. In question number 4, ABCD is a trapezium in which AB is parallel to CD, BD is a diagonal, and E is the midpoint of side AD. A line is drawn through E parallel to AB. So that line which is drawn through E is parallel to AB. Since AB is parallel to DC and this EF is parallel to AB, we get that EF is parallel to DC. Moving on, a line E is drawn. A line is drawn through point E parallel to AB, intersecting BC at F. Show that F is the midpoint of BC. So to do that, to prove that F is midpoint of BC, we are going to make use of the converse statement of the midpoint theorem. So first, before that, here we know that AB is parallel to CD and EF is parallel to AB. So this implies EF is parallel to CD also. This is our result 1. So now in triangle DAB, that is this triangle DAB, we have line segment EO. E is the midpoint and EO is, since EF is parallel to AB, EO is also parallel to AB. So in lines, in triangle DAB, we have EO parallel to AB and E is the midpoint. So now what the converse statement of midpoint theorem says, when lines are drawn through one of the midpoints, through the midpoints of one of the sides of the triangle parallel to the second side, then it will pass through the midpoint of that line will pass through the midpoint of the third side. So by converse, this implies O is midpoint of DB because of converse of midpoint theorem. This is your result number 2. So now similarly in triangle BCD, we have another triangle BCD here. In this triangle, OF is parallel to DC because from 1 we got that EF is parallel to CD. That means since EF is parallel to CD, a part of that line, that is line segment OF, will also be parallel to CD. That is the property of lines. OF is parallel to CD from 1, and not just that, O is midpoint. O is midpoint of side DB. O is midpoint of side DB. So this implies, using the same arguments as before, that is by the statement of the converse of midpoint theorem, we will get F is midpoint of side BC using the converse of midpoint theorem. So our question was to prove that F is midpoint of side BC, and we just proved that using converse of the midpoint theorem. So this is the solution for the fourth question. So in the fifth question I am leaving it to you as your homework. So in the sixth question, show that the line segments joining the midpoint of the opposite sides of a quadrilateral bisect each other. So here ABCD is some quadrilateral, and P, Q, R and S are the midpoints of the respective sides. Now P and R are sides, midpoints of opposite sides. Similarly S and Q are midpoints of opposite sides. So PR and SQ are the line segments which we have to show that they bisect each other. That means that we have to show that they cut each other in two equal parts. So first join AC and all other midpoints. You can see that I did a little bit of construction here, so I have represented the same with broken lines. So join AC and all other midpoints. Now just like we did before using midpoint theorem, SR is parallel to AC and SR is equal to half of AC. Similarly PQ is parallel to AC and PQ is half of AC by midpoint theorem. So this implies SR is parallel to PQ and SR is equal to PQ. So this implies PQRS is a parallelogram. SR is parallel to PQ and SR is equal to PQ. This is the minimum condition for any quadrilateral to be a parallelogram. So PQRS, the opposite sides are equal and parallel, so PQRS is a parallelogram. Then also we know that diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. We proved it in the previous exercises. So since diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other, you can see that PR and SQ are the diagonals of the parallelogram PQRS. So therefore, we know that PR and SQ bisect each other in parallelogram PQRS. So this is the solution required for the sixth question. In the seventh and the last question of the exercise, we have ABC is a right angled triangle right angled at C. So at C we have an angle of 90 degrees. A line through the midpoint M of the hypotenuse AB and parallel to BC intersects AC at point D. Show that first D is midpoint of AC. To show that D is midpoint of AC, once again we will use the converse statement of the midpoint theorem. Here we know that in triangle ABC, M is the midpoint of AB and MD is parallel to BC. So this implies, since it is the M is midpoint of one of the sides of the triangle and the line passing through that midpoint is parallel to the second side, then it will cut the third side at its midpoint. So this implies D is midpoint of AC by converse of midpoint theorem. Now in the second sub question we have we need to prove that MD is perpendicular to AC. Here you can see that MD is parallel to BC. Since MD is parallel to BC, angle C and this angle D or angle MDA, they are corresponding angles. So when the lines are parallel, the corresponding angles are equal to one another. Therefore, we know that we have MD is parallel to BC and AC is the transversal. AC is the transversal. So this implies angle C is equal to angle MDA, which is equal to 90 degrees. We were told that angle C is 90 degrees because the triangle is right angled at angle C. So because it is given. So this implies since this angle is equal to 90 degrees, it means that MD is perpendicular to AC. So this implies MD is perpendicular to AC. This is the solution to the second sub question. Now we have a third sub question from the same seventh question, that is to prove CM is equal to MA, which is equal to half of AB. We already know that M is the midpoint of side AB. That means AM or MA is already half of AB. So now to prove that CM is half of MA, now join CM. Join CM. Join CM. So now we have two triangles here. Triangle AMD and triangle CMD. Also we know that since D is the midpoint, AD is equal to CD. We proved it in first sub question. So join CM. Then in triangle AMD and triangle CMD. In triangle AMD and triangle CMD, AD is equal to CD from result 1. From result 1, we proved that D is the midpoint of side AC. So AD is equal to CD and angle MDC is equal to angle ADM or MDA, which is equal to 90 degrees from result 2. We proved that it was perpendicular. So from result 2 we got that. And lastly we have MD is equal to MD. It is a common side to both the triangles. So triangle AMD is congruent to triangle CMD by SAS postulate, side angle side postulate. So now this implies CM is equal to MA by CP CT. Let this be your result A. Result small a. We already know that MA is equal to half AB because M is the midpoint. M is the midpoint. Therefore, CM is equal to MA is equal to half of AB. This is the required solution for the third sub-question of the seventh question from your exercise 7.2. So this completes the chapter quadrilaterals. Write your notes properly and neatly and also draw diagrams wherever necessary. Remember children, diagrams are very, very important. You have lost marks in your test papers because you didn't draw proper diagrams. So make sure that you draw proper and neat diagrams. So that's all for today. Thank you.